All right, everybody, we are live here on social media. I'm streaming on a couple of Facebook pages and YouTube. And we actually are coming here a little bit early just because we know we have some people that are going to be excited to watch this interview. And I'm going to get to my man Austin here in a second. So if you actually are just joining us, thanks so much for being on our live interview today on Facebook. And we'll just give it a few minutes before we get some people to come on board. Give it about 30 seconds. And again, if you're just joining us, definitely comment, hit like. Hi, Tiffany. Welcome. Welcome, everyone, for joining us. Excited to really be on this interview today. So again, welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for watching this interview as we are live. We'll give it just a few more seconds and I'll get right into it. So welcome, everyone. Hello, hello. Thanks so much for being on. All right, everybody. Well, I am so excited to really do this interview. I met Austin Zuloff in March of this year. And when I got to know Austin, I got to know a lot of his success. And I want to interview him today. And it's a pretty powerful interview. We're definitely collaborating together. We've been actually working together for the past couple of months. And if anyone knows me, I'm wearing a muscle shirt. I'm always kind of relaxed at home, working from home, but I love working out. I'm 40 years old. I feel like I'm better now than I was when I was 20. I love going to the gym. I'm always focused on my health and wellness goals. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about health and wellness. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about the 2021 and really the opportunities that are among all of us financially. So again, if you're just joining us, welcome. So Austin, thanks so much for being on. You go way back into sales, marketing, entrepreneurship. Love to get to know you and all of the people that are watching this. Who is the man, the myth, the legend here, Austin? And what have you done? What currently do you do? Just to give people a little bit of background of some of your credentials and some of the things that you've done. I know you stood on stages all across this country. I know that you've worked personally with people like Eric Worre on the GoPro stage. I know that you have been the #1 income earner in 3 different successful companies. And now you're a vice president of a very successful European company right now as well. Yeah. So love to just get to know your background, a little bit of your story. Then I got some questions that I would love to ask you. So thanks so much for being on the interview today.
Yeah, no, my pleasure, Todd. I'm excited to be on here and, have a chance to add some value to your audience. And all those kind words you said about me, I just got to give it back to you. Folks, if you don't know how incredible Todd Cahill is, really take a second to plug in, get to know Todd, check out his background. I mean, anything this man touches turns to gold. And I feel blessed to be associated with someone of Todd's caliber for sure. So as far as Austin Zuloff goes, I'm just the 9th grade dropout from Kentucky that didn't know if he could make it or not, but I tried and I kept trying. And because I did, here I am. And, you mentioned lots of things that I've done in the past, #1 earner of 3 separate companies, been an outside sales consultant for multiple Fortune 500 companies. All the stuff that you mentioned, I still got to take it back to grew up on a farm, dropped out in the 9th grade, wound up, in the streets doing stupid stuff, and then got involved in corporate America where, I excelled, I did great. And then whenever there was a corporate restructuring and I was out of a job, lo and behold, a new door opened that changed my life forever. And so, since then, that's when all the miraculous stuff has happened, that #1 earner and all that good stuff and whatnot. Yeah. But more than that, we've helped to retire over 600 families through our training and coaching in the direct selling profession. So that's, I would say, but besides my family, that's probably what I'm most proud of, for sure.
So let me ask you a question, because I know we both come from that kind of background of I've been in like direct sales myself from I was 23 to like a couple years ago. And even that, like now, like how did that feel to retire like 600 families? It's one thing to retire yourself. It's one thing to retire like your mom and dad, but you really helped retire 600 people. Because every time I talk to someone, and I've been in front of thousands of people like you, game plans, Starbucks, all of these things that I've done in the past almost 2 decades, I think majority of people are good, and majority of people always want to help people. I've heard it like, hey, what do you want? Like, well, I just want to help my mom. No. What do you want? And like, well, I want to help my dad. I want, no. What do you want? So I think a lot of us want to really go out there and help, but how does one not only help others, but how does one, in your opinion, now in this market and really what we're going through in 2021, coming out of what we went through in 2020, how can somebody really help themselves? I know you mentioned your dropout. Is it really education? Is there certain types of education that people should be pointed to or directed to? Because I think a lot of people are looking for that right education that they didn't get from college or high school that is really putting them in debt. It's not retiring them, like you said. It's really causing some even division in the household. So what kind of education are we talking about here to be able to not only retire yourself, but to retire, hundreds of families?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've trained thousands of people with college diplomas. So, I mean, it really depends on what you're going into. There's nothing wrong with college. There's nothing wrong with a traditional education at all. It's just, I looked at a lot of the top earners in the world, and they all came out of entrepreneurship. They all came out of sales or entrepreneurship of some sort. And so, what I've chosen to do is a hybrid of that. And, whenever I saw people making a multiple of what I had ever made in a year, in a month, and some people in a week, I had to learn more. So if you're taking notes, write this down. The quickest and easiest path to success is through the experience of others.
Yes.
That have been there. So, what I've done, throughout my past decade and some change is plug in with people like Todd Cahill, like some of the incredible leaders that you've brought to the table recently. Plug in with folks of that caliber that were in a position that I wanted to be in, and consistently ILT, right? Invest, learn, teach, invest time, money, and energy into my education. I've got like a PhD in YouTube University, right?
Yeah,
I bought
right.
every course out there. I'm between Google and YouTube and buying courses and going
and you made courses yourself, 7 figures, yourself of making courses yourself. Well, talk to me about I think a lot of people run from the word sales, and sales to me, I saw my dad just smile and dial, growing up, and he was just such a charismatic person. My mom was in sales, and I thought I'd never want to be in sales. I don't want to be like my parents in that way. When I was growing up, I thought I'd just work at corporate America, something like that. But sales changed my life. I remember sitting at Food Lion in Lynchburg, Virginia at Liberty University, and I made $80 in like 2 hours as a college student selling newspaper subscriptions. And I said, if I can do that, and I was just starting to do the math. I'm like, if I do 4 hours a day, I can make $200 a day, and I'm only 20 years old. I mean, it just blew my mind, and I've been in sales ever since. But what can you tell us about communication? Because sales is just a transfer of enthusiasm. But how can someone get good? Because 2% of the world's great at sales, and 98% of the world is being run by the people that are good at sales. So you either are being sold or you're selling. No matter what it is out there, we're being consumed every day on ads, and consumers might as well get a piece of that pie. So what did you have to do? College dropout, myself a college dropout. You're a high school dropout. I was a college dropout. What did you have to do to develop a skill set to really network with people? And how is that? Is that a hard thing? Is that something that anyone can become as a good networker, a good communicator? How is that important in a skill set nowadays in 2021?
So you asked a few different questions there. So let me break it down that sales and networking are two entirely different skill sets. And so for me, from the time I was 12 years old on up, my mom had me involved in Combined Insurance Company. She was in Combined, I was in Combined. So I was around some of the top salespeople and personal self-development gurus in the world, right? Zig Ziglar, W. Clement Stone. I had face-to-face exposure to some of these incredible legends in sales. And so that's one skill set. And whenever I got involved in the profession that I'm in now, I didn't know anything about networking. And to be honest with you, in sales, I only had to deal with people for a short period of time. I was really an extroverted introvert, right?
Okay.
And I knew I had to deal with them during the sale, and then I was pretty much done. I mean, I came back and saw them every 6 months when I sold them insurance, but everybody's in sales. So if you think that you're not in sales or you're not good at sales, you're fooling yourself. If you've
Right.
ever went out on a date, okay, that's a sale.
Yeah.
Everyone's in sales. They just don't get paid for it. If you've ever said,
Yeah.
hey, this movie is awesome, you should check it out. You
Right.
sold that movie to someone else and didn't make $1, but the movie theater did, the box
Yeah.
office did. So everyone's in sales. You really need to get over if you have any stigma or thoughts that you're bad at it, because you've been doing it your whole life. You just haven't been getting paid for it. Networking, on the other hand, I've got over 11,000 contacts in my cell phone, and that's just through networking, like meeting Uber drivers, being, all around the world, London, England, Sydney, Australia, being all over the world, just meeting people, striking up a conversation, and then, capturing their information somehow. Networking. I tell you what, I'll give you one question you can ask that'll just change your life and put you in behind doors that you probably never imagined yourself. I learned this a couple of years ago whenever I was doing some work with John C. Maxwell down in Atlanta at his studio. John Maxwell is a great author, by the way, if whoever's watching hasn't, if you're not familiar with, but so he gave me this this question. He said, who do you know that I should know?
Nice. I'm gonna write that down.
I love that. I've met authors. I've met philanthropists of all sorts, doctors. I've met some great people by asking, who do you know that I should know? And then just getting the introduction made. So sales, networking, two different skills, definitely important to success in anything.
Okay. Amazing. And I want to lead up to the reason I'm asking this question is I really want to set up the audience for this, because you and me have both heard a lot of excuses in about 20 years or however long me and you have been in business. I'm a little bit older than you just by a few years, but I think the biggest excuse, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but at least for me, I don't know about you, I've heard I can't afford it. Have you heard that a lot? Like money is always kind of an issue for the majority of people.
Yeah, I've heard it. I think mindset is what holds a lot of people back, but the same people that say that they don't have the money, they spend $100 at the bar that weekend, or whenever we want something, money is usually not the issue. We find a way to get it. If you a couple of girls walking in through the mall, they see a pair of shoes, I can't afford it. They get it. And it's just how it is. So the real root of the I can't afford it objection is they don't see the value. Write this down if you're taking notes. When value exceeds cost, people buy.
Exactly. When value exceeds cost, people buy. So, and the reason I bring that up is because I think people, if they get out of their own way and they have that courage to become financially independent, but then also it's not just about money, it's about network, it's about the people you associate yourself with. What I love about really the collaboration that we've been doing, I met you in early March, and really love working with you, love working with some of the top people in Europe. Talk to me about someone positioning themselves financially, someone positioning themselves in a skill set, being around positive, like-minded people, but not having to be weird. They really become an entrepreneur, because I think a lot of people want to be an entrepreneur, but they have to have the entrepreneur mentality. They can't come from a poverty mentality or an entitled mentality. They have to come pretty open, pretty coachable. And I think also what people want is not only to be an entrepreneur, but they want to take care of themselves. So what I'd love to know is, talk to me a little bit about the company that you represent, the company that I collaborated with, the company I'm like really partnering up with. And I have this. I know it looks a little bit weird here, but this purple drink, and it's something that I take very seriously. And some of the ingredients with this company is phycocyanine, spirulina. But people here heard of spirulina, they've heard of all this. So what I love to know is just in the audience to know is who you represent, and a little bit about your own excitement way before we've all kind of heard about it, because there's a huge North American launch that no one's heard of.
That's right.
And me and you are coming out, and everyone in North America has never heard of this. And that really excites me. It really, because, when someone's heard of it, then the opportunity's over. So talk to me a little bit about your position corporate wise, and some of just a little bit about the products that you're using, so people just understand that this is so patented, it's different, it's exciting, what it does for inflammation, what it does for the body. Obviously we don't have a ton of time, but you can go all day on it because you're so good. But just a little bit of the ins and outs of kind of what you are representing here.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I love your energy. And it's been revitalizing, re-energizing. It's just been incredible working with you the past few months, watching you do your thing. I mean, it's wild. The leadership, I just can't I can't tell you how grateful I am to have you and lock arms with you on this project. It's been a lot of fun. But I think most everyone in the world really wants to make an impact. You know, I think that people want to make a difference. They want to be remembered. You know, they want to live a long, healthy, happy, peaceful life, and they want to help other people do the same. I think genuinely, people really that's what they want. They want to live a long, healthy, happy, peaceful life, and they want to be remembered. So what we're building here is the opportunity for all of that and then some. Right. I didn't realize how I couldn't breathe until I didn't have to worry about money anymore. So it also is really good to to have a vehicle that will give you that long, healthy, happy, peaceful life in a good community, surrounded by good people with a great culture, and then also provide the financial freedom as well. So it's exciting. It's exciting what we've got. So whenever I was looking at companies, so I retired back in 2018 as the number one income earner of a company, and I was just going to train and coach people in this space how to build sustainable, successful organizations. And because it's not difficult to figure out. Once you got to figure it out, it's not difficult to do, rather. So whenever I decided that I wanted to be back attached to a company because I missed the team atmosphere, like you really touched on something without even touching on it. You know, if you hang around 4 successful people, you'll be the 5th. If you hang around 4 losers, you'll be the 5th. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's really nice to have that team atmosphere, that group of people that are uplifting, they're positive, they're supportive. When your parents or your wife or your husband, whenever they're not supporting you, whenever they don't see the vision, it's good to have that group of people that you can fall back on that'll lift you up. But anyway, so whenever I was looking for that sort of atmosphere, I looked at everything that was out there, and there was one company that I ran across just shy of me giving up hope on finding anything that was really, really mind-blowingly awesome. And they had a patented technology that, you know, called photobioreactor technology that they had developed and used to develop a patented strain of blue-green algae, which blue-green algae was thought to be the first form of life on Earth, which provided the oxygen for all other forms of life on Earth to exist. So if you talk about bioavailability, your body's availability, ability to use a certain substance, it doesn't really get any better than that, the first form of life on Earth. And so they've been able to use this photobioreactor technology and the software in it to communicate with this blue-green algae many times per millisecond to figure out exactly what it needs. It's so futuristic. It's nuts.
It is. It's crazy.
To figure out what nutrients it needs, what salts, CO2s, oxygen, temperature in the water, lightness to darkness ratio. So they've been able to maximize its fullest potential to create the most nutrient dense blue-green algae in the world, with every single vitamin, mineral, nutrient, amino acid, and protein that the human body and mind needs, minus one vitamin, and we actually have that in our phycocyanin, with the heaviest biomass in the world of any blue-green algae and the highest phycocyanin concentration. And then when I dug deep into what phycocyanin is and saw that the FDA had approved it for about a dozen different medical applications over the past year or two.
That's huge.
Oh my God, it's expected to be the next huge multi-billion-dollar booming market. So that market space, along with blue-green algae, health and fitness, the fact that they already have Olympians training on this product, the miraculous testimonials that I heard before I even became the vice president of North America. You look at everything, and the fact that the people that are behind it, the 2 guys that founded the company, are so open and their hearts are so open.
Yeah.
I came on board and I said, we need to do this, 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 and this. And they've done everything and then some that they needed to do. So it's been a huge blessing for mine and my families and the people that have believed in me enough to partner with me in business for our physical and mental health.
Yeah.
Because you get your gut right and you get your body and mind, everything that it needs. But it's also been a really huge blessing for a lot of people, not just physically and mentally, as far as health goes, but financially, emotionally. The community that we're building, especially thanks to you, is just, it's top notch. And I feel like I'm going to live 20 extra years just because of you and the culture and all that stuff, much less the nutrition,
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, I've been an entrepreneur and I kind of retired from that industry in 2019 when my book came out, February 2019. I've been very successful. One of the companies years ago I was successful in was Antiaging. And I knew nothing about anti-aging. At the time, I was like early 30s, kind of, to mid 30s. And I never tried anti-aging before. And then when I got into this company, women just loved it. And it took about 3 to 10 days for them to really see results. And it kind of smelled weird and like kind of 50-50 results there. But this is exciting. And again, I'm a CEO of a company. I do a lot of entrepreneur stuff. I'm a thought leader, an author, speaker, influencer, et cetera. But I know a good thing when I see it. And I'm not going to say yes to certain things just because it's cool. What you just said, I mean, I would have to repeat on many, many times to really even get what you just said because it's so awesome. and the inflammation that's going down in my body and the energy and the clarity and losing that brain fog. It's been amazing. But talk to me real quickly about the June 15th Iridium red algae, one product that does it all for men and women. Just a little sneak peek of how big a deal this is. Because again, North America, it started in Europe. It's massive in Europe. They're doing almost 40 million a year after 7 years. I mean, we got a freaking Tour de France team over there. It's pretty amazing that we sponsor. But over here, no one knows about it. Like no one knows even what that even means. So how is that playing into this Iridium launch? And where do you see 6 months to 12 months out when North America starts seeing and feeling and experience, especially just in skincare, because people go crazy about it. I was so surprised how skincare and anti-aging it just explodes, even more than health and wellness, because it's your face, it's the way you look and confidence and stuff like that. So talk to, as the vice president, talk to me a little bit about the Iridium launch in North America.
Yeah, so we found that people want to feel good and they want to look good, right? And so we nourish people and make them look and feel good from the inside out with the A3 Nat, with our patented strain of blue-green algae, with the phycocyanin line that just deads inflammation and lactic acid buildup and oxidative stress. And, gets that, like you said, clears the brain fog, ups your energy, makes you feel good. And then the microbiome product that resets your gut health. Yeah. And that's right now, that's our number one seller is the microbiome, resetting your gut health, clinically proven. That's huge, especially for immunity, which is very hot right now. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the Iridium, in Europe, they call it a skin therapy product. Here we refer to it as reverse aging or anti-aging. But there's this red sea-dwelling algae that's really hard to procure and store. It's very expensive. And the top skin serums in the world that are like $600 and $700, those serums have 1% or less of that active ingredient. That's what makes them special. We're the first company in the world to figure out how to grow it in photobioreactor technology. So we have 99% of this active ingredient, and people just see like immediate results. We've got an 8-figure earner from a skincare company that came over and freaked out, lost her mind after the first week. She was calling me, just freaking out about how it exceeded all expectations day one. So people want to feel good and they want to look good. They want to add years to their life and life to their years. And that's what we do. And then some. So I'm really excited about the Iridium launch this month for sure.
Me too. And I've been very fortunate to work a lot with women, whether it's coaching women or just working really directly with women for the past 10 years. And I just love the fact that if you do have something that works, like you're saying, and they're getting results in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes or whatever, a couple days. Women are the best marketers. And it's not because they're great salespeople. In fact, a lot of them don't like sales, but they're just great at word of mouth. And I just love the fact that these products are just so great for men and women, but they're the real deal. And again, as an entrepreneur, someone that really understands positioning, first movers advantage, getting in early before the masses see it. Because again, if I go sign up with some other company that's been around for 30 years in America, even if they have fantastic products, best products in the world, everyone knows about it. And the opportunity is really not there. And again, when you talk to me a little bit, a couple more things that I have, because again, a lot of companies out there, a lot of products out there, a lot of skincare out there. Talk to me a little bit about how big a deal a patent is, and then also patenting the technology of it. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So, most companies in our space get started almost out of a sense of desperation, it seems, and they usually don't have a lot of funding. I've seen companies in our space start, believe it or not, with less than $250,000 in the bank. And, sometimes they don't even have that. They borrow, $250,000 or $500,000 or whatever the case may be. And it's just mind blowing that, you see Forex deals and, Forex and crypto and all this stuff and whatnot. And it's just, I run the other way whenever I see this stuff nowadays, because it's just, you want to attach yourself to something that's not going to damage your name, later on down the road. So this company has invested over $70 million into their laboratories in Spain. And then whenever they develop cutting edge breakthrough biotechnologies and products, they patent those. But in addition to the formulations being patented, they actually patent the technology that you need to even be able to create them. So the photobioreactor technology that we use to create our whole product line, no one in the world has that technology or can have that technology.
Boom.
So it's impossible to create the formulations. And so realistically, with the technology that exists on Earth right now, no one can compete with us on a nutritional level, bioavailability. And if they want to take it into the blue-green algae or phycocyanin, or gut health or anti-aging, if they want to take it into any of those niches, they just can't hold a flame to what we've got, and they won't be able to, not with the technology that exists on Earth right now. Not to say that, someone might not invent something years from now, but right now we kind of run the gambit on that. And if you don't know what phycocyanin is and you don't understand why I'm so excited about that, Google what is phycocyanin or health benefits of phycocyanin. Man, that's the star of the show. But the gut health, the iridium, we've just got so much going on, man. And I'm just like I said, grateful for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, just wrapping up this interview, because I'm very grateful for you to be on this interview. Grateful for everyone that's watching, whether you're on the live or the replay, #replay. Let us know you're watching. Austin is a man to follow, so make sure you follow him on Instagram. Make sure you follow him on Facebook. He's got a very cool name, Austin Zulaw. It's a cool name, but he's really a down-to-earth guy. And I just love the fact and a lot of people might not have thought about this, but everything starts in Europe. If you look at Louis Vuitton, Gucci, fashion, style, European cut, everything cool starts in Europe. But what's interesting about this is usually Europe is against stuff like this. Usually it's that's above me or that's below me kind of thing. Well, being in Luxembourg, our home office in Moscow, Luxembourg is one of the wealthiest cities on this planet. And to have a European growth and have all the success in Europe, but America, Canada, North America has not even heard of this, but they're about to. If you're watching this interview, Austin, let's just close with this, because I love this concept of 2% market penetration. Malcolm Gladwell talks about in his book Outliers, first movers advantage. 10 years ago, if you came to me and were like, hey man, you should invest in this thing called Uber. You get in a stranger's car, you're going to pay them to drive you all over the city. You don't know these people, but it's going to be massive. It's called Uber. Everyone would laugh you out of the room for the most part. So again, we're in that first movers advantage. So what is your take, being in the industry for so many years, making millions of dollars? What is your take on that first mover's advantage with patents, with all of this incredible natural products, anti-aging, health and wellness. What is your take on where we're going within the next really 6 to 12 months here in North America or longer?
Yeah, no, I know where we're going in fact. And, it is good to have that first mover's advantage and, to be, in with the benefits of the ground floor opportunity without the risk, meaning in North America, we're really just started. And if you ask the founders where we're at, we're really just getting started, period, even after 7 years. But I mean, there's I think the oldest network marketing company that's still around is Amway, right? And so there was a 30-year-old kid 5 or 6 years ago that came into Amway after them being 70 years old and earned over $1 million his first year. So, it's good to have that mover's advantage, that ground floor and all that sort of thing. It's better to have good leadership, good systems. If you're talking about it from a business standpoint, a fair compensation plan, and a company that'll actually pay it all out. And so, what we've got here is the best of all. I don't even want to say both. The best of all worlds, as far as cutting edge products and biotechnologies, no one in the world can dispute. A really generous compensation plan that's been reworked, and then we relaunched last September, and the field loves. And to have first class leadership. So we brought in yourself that you've done over $10 million a month in sales in previous companies. We've got another guy that's responsible for over $4 billion in sales throughout his career. One gentleman that at the height of his best build, he was doing $27 million a month in sales. So this is monthly, so I mean, we have all the people currently to train and coach whoever wants to be in. And if they can just stay plugged in every day and follow instruction, that's it. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. They don't have to be a rocket surgeon, right? They don't have to be super intelligent. They can be a 9th grade dropout from Kentucky and still just crush it over here if they stay plugged in and if they follow the simple instruction of the leadership that's in right now. We got the systems in place right now. So
we do.
I think we will be a $1 billion a year company inside of the next 3 years. It could happen sooner, but I think three years is pretty realistic for where we're at right now. And I think we're eventually going to be that multi-billion, $3-4 billion a year company. And I'm really excited about where we're at right now, though.
Yeah, no, me too. Like I said, I'm a pretty sharp guy, after all those years of just really reading and researching and doing the do like you and going through the start, being, starting a business and then making millions of dollars and getting out of my comfort zone and speaking. But, when I was sitting, a couple months ago and I got an inbox from my friend who connected me to you, I didn't realize that something like this even exists. Honestly, I didn't think that, because shakes and bars and health and wellness to a lot of people is just like shakes, and nothing wrong with it. But a dime a dozen. I can get shakes anywhere in the grocery store. You can't get anything like this at the grocery store. You can't get anything like this anywhere. So it's just so different. It's so refreshing. And again, it's part of my repertoire as an entrepreneur to really be collaborating with this, and also being a product of the product myself helps my health, helps my heart health, and just helps me have the energy to really do what I got to do as a father, as all the stuff that I do as a business owner, a CEO of a company. So I just am so excited for anyone that's seeing this. And Austin, if anyone's watching this, I guess what we can do is maybe they just reach out to me, reach out to you, and just, if they have any questions, whatever, we're here to support them in any possible way. But we are looking to really take over North America right now. Like you said, a lot of great people are joining. Some of those numbers, the real numbers, 27 million a month, multimillionaires, legends in the industry that retired for years, including myself for just a few years, coming back because of this. And that's what's so exciting, including myself. So I just want to thank you for your leadership. Thank you so much for the opportunity to really get to know you here publicly. And thanks so much for all of you watching. Look forward to really working and connecting with anyone that really wants the help, health and wellness side, financial side, coaching side. We're here to do that. So any last thing you want to say, Austin, before we wrap up this interview?
Not really. I'd just say, sometimes I've noticed that people tend to overthink things and, overcomplicate things. It's really not that complicated. We've got something really special here. You should definitely get in contact with Todd for sure. Todd is phenomenal in many different aspects, but when it comes to business, he just seems to have a knack for things. And, you can reach out to myself or Todd or just, with me, you can have I realize you can have the best idea in the world. And if you don't act on it, how many times have you said, I thought of that, like an infomercial come on or something like that. You can have the best idea in the world, but if you don't act on it, if you don't take advantage of it right now, you can talk yourself right out of it. So don't get that analysis paralysis. Do it now, take action, get up with Todd, and let's have some fun together. For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Austin, for your time. Thanks so much for everyone for watching. And we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for being on, everybody.